Now in this lecture we are going to apply the boundary conditions and we are going to solve this symmetric model by just double clicking on the model cell. We are trying to open the Ansys mechanical. Now what happens is it is asking upstream data has been changed, would you like to update? So what happened is I have changed the geometry and now the model Ansys mechanical module is asking me that you have changed the model, so would you like to update the model? Yes, I would like to update the model. And then coming to this, I am going to right click, say insert, I'm going to right click on the static structural, say insert, and I am going to select the fixed support and I am going to fix this particular face and say apply, and then I am going to right click, say insert, and I am going to insert this particular rotational velocity and I am going to change it to from vector to components, and I am going to give 100 radians in the 100 radians per second velocity, and I am going to right click, say insert, say go to stresses, equivalent stresses, and I am going to just right click, say insert, I am going to go to the stresses. In the stresses I am going to go to the normal stresses and I am going to leave this in the x-axis. See here, here also if we take the global axis, this particular x-axis is going to align with the radial direction of this flywheel. I am just going to rename it as radial stress. Then I am just going to right click and say solve, and once I solve I will get some values, and from those values I can compare these values with the previous one. So first of all I will go to the mesh and I go to the statistics and see here the number of nodes were 1600 and the elements were 749, whereas in the previous case the number of nodes were 2609, the elements were 1238. So what happens is in the previous case it had to solve 2609 into 3 number of equations, but now in this case it should be only solving somewhere around 1600 into 3 number of equations. So you have seen the number of equations to be solved by the computer has decreased, and this particular thing, if it is in a case of a very complicated problem, it will save you a ton of resources, ton of money, ton of time for the analysis projects. So okay, coming to the results, see here. So I am going to get a result somewhere around like 2.153 MPa in the radial direction. So I am going to just switch back to full model and I am going to see the radial stresses. See here, I am going to get 1.98. There is a little bit difference. So this little bit difference can be avoided by performing a convergence study by changing the different mesh settings, and you can just remove this particular ambiguity that is present between these two models. So this is how you can just use the symmetry option present in the geometry to create a model with less number of nodes and elements and perform an static structural analysis or other type of analysis very effectively. In the next section, you are going to perform analysis on 2D objects using Ansys Workbench. Here we are going to simplify the 3D objects as 2D objects, and we are going to learn how to perform analysis on them inside Ansys Workbench. Thank you.